Good morning. Welcome to Mahood Life. I'm Julie. I'm back at my regular location. Yee-hee. And I have mugs of the hour. I'm going to do, there's two mugs that my son got me when he went on vacation. And he does not drink coffee or tea, so he really, when he looks at a mug, he looks at it as something you can set up on the shelf to look at, and not really something that you can drink from. But I did drink out of these, and they're very unique. This one is a toucan, and it is wooden. And it was made down, I think he got this in Costa Rica. I'm not sure. Um, he might correct me on that. But it's wooden, and I did drink out of it once. They coated it with whatever, and the little note said that you can drink out of it hot liquids. So I don't have anything in it this morning. I already drank my coffee this morning, but this is the mug of the hour. Toucan Sam. Can't remember what that cereal is. What is that cereal? Does anybody know? The cereal that the toucan is it Fruit Loops? Is that what it is? Not sure. But today is the wooden toucan mug. Tomorrow is a little bit different mug. I'll show you that one tomorrow if you join me tomorrow. We're reading from the Chronological Bible, and today it kind of jumps all over the place. We're going to be doing Numbers 27:15 through 23. Then it jumps to chapter 32. Then it jumps to Deuteronomy, a little section from Deuteronomy 4, Deuteronomy 25. And then it goes back to Numbers 35 and ends at Numbers 35:8. So again, and we always want to keep in mind that this is the chronological Bible, so it's putting things in order the way they happen in history. So let's get started on the reading of today's word. Okay, a little commentary entitled Joshua Named as Successor. God has already told Moses that because of his earlier sin, he will not be able to enter the promised land. Aware that his death is imminent, Moses is quite naturally concerned about the future leadership of Israel and asks for God's guidance in the selection of his replacement. It must be gratifying for Moses to learn that God has chosen Joshua, who has been Moses' faithful protege for over 40 years. The investiture of Joshua will take place before the people of Israel and in the presence of Eleazar the priest. My cat wants to join us this morning. All right, we begin here with Numbers 27. Come here. Come here. Come here. Let's get down. Let's get down. Okay. Numbers 27. Moses said to the Lord, "May the Lord, the God of the spirits of all mankind, appoint a man over this community to go out and come in before them, one who will lead them out and bring them in, so the Lord's people will not be like sheep without a shepherd." You have to get down. So the Lord said to Moses, "Take Joshua, son of Nun, a man in whom is the Spirit, and lay your hand on him. Have him stand before Eleazar the priest and the entire assembly, and commission him in their presence. Give him some of your authority, so the whole Israelite community will obey him. He is to stand before Eleazar the priest, who will obtain decisions for him by inquiring of the Urim before the Lord. At his command, he and the entire community of the Israelites will go out, and at his command, they will come in." You have to get down. Excuse me, please. Moses did as the Lord commanded him. He took Joshua and had him stand before Eleazar the priest and the whole assembly. Then he laid his hands on him and commissioned him as the Lord instructed through Moses. Another commentary entitled 2.5 Tribes East of Jordan. While preparations are being made for the invasion of Canaan, Moses is approached by the men of Gad and Reuben, who have decided that they prefer to settle east of the Jordan River, an area which they believe will afford especially good pasturage for their many cattle. Moses is at first skeptical, thinking that perhaps the men are making the request in order to avoid fighting for Canaan. When assured that the men will help conquer the promised land, Moses agrees to their request. Apparently, half of the tribe of Manasseh also likes the plan and is permitted to settle on the east bank along with the other two tribes. Anticipating the need for cities of refuge, as detailed more fully under Israel's criminal statutes, Moses designates a city of refuge for each of the eastern tribes. Numbers 32. The Reubenites and Gadites, who had very large herds and flocks, saw that the lands of Jazer and Gilead were suitable for livestock. So they came to Moses and Eleazar the priest and to the leaders of the community and said, Adaroth, Dibon, Jazer, Nimrah, Heshbon, Elealeh, Sabem, Nebo, and Beon, the land the Lord subdued before the people of Israel, are suitable for livestock, and your servants have livestock. If we have found favor in your eyes, they said, let this land be given to your servants as our possession. Do not make us cross the Jordan. Moses said to the Gadites and Reubenites, shall your countrymen go to war while you sit here? Why do you discourage the Israelites from going over into the land the Lord has given them? This is what your fathers did when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to look over the land. After they went up to the valley of Eshcol and viewed the land, they discouraged the Israelites from entering the land the Lord had given them. The Lord's anger was roused, and that day, and he swore this oath, because they have not followed me wholeheartedly, not one of the men 20 years old or more who came up out of Egypt will see the land I promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Not one, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and the Kenizzite, and Joshua, son of Nun. For they followed the Lord wholeheartedly. The Lord's anger burned against Israel, and he made them wander in the desert 40 years, until the whole generation of those who had done evil in his sight was gone. And here you are, a brood of sinners, standing in the place of your fathers and making the Lord even more angry with Israel. If you turn away from following him, he will again leave all this people in the desert, and you will be the cause of their destruction. Then they came up to him and said, we would like to build pens here for our livestock and cities for our women and children, but we are ready to arm ourselves and go ahead of the Israelites until we have brought them to their place. Meanwhile, our women and children will live in fortified cities for protection from the inhabitants of the land. We will not return to our homes until every Israelite has received his inheritance. We will not receive any inheritance with them on the other side of the Jordan, because our inheritance has come to us on the east side of the Jordan. Then Moses said to them, if you will do this, if you will arm yourselves before the Lord for battle, and if all of you will go armed over the Jordan before the Lord until he has driven his enemies out before him, then when the land is subdued before the Lord, you may return and be free from your obligation to the Lord and to Israel. And this land will be your possession before the Lord. But if you fail to do this, you will be sinning against the Lord, and you may be sure that your sin will find you out. Build cities for your women and children, and pens for your flocks, but do what you have promised. The Gadites and Reubenites said to Moses, we, your servants, will do as our Lord commands. Our children and wives, our flocks and herds will remain here in the cities of Gilead. But your servants, every man armed for battle, will cross over to fight before the Lord, just as our Lord says. Then Moses gave orders about them to Eleazar the priest and Joshua son of Nun, and to the family heads of the Israelite tribes. He said to them, if the Gadites and Reubenites, every man armed for battle, cross over the Jordan with you before the Lord, then when the land is subdued before you, Give them the land of Gilead as their possession. But if they do not cross over with you armed, they must accept their possession with you in Canaan. The Gadites and Reubenites answered, Your servants will do what the Lord has said. We will cross over before the Lord into Canaan armed, but the property we inherit will be on this side of the Jordan. Then Moses gave to the Gadites, the Reubenites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and the kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, the whole land with its cities and the territory around them. The Gadites built up Dibon, Adaroth, Aroer, Atroth Shofan, Jazer, Jogbaha, Beth Nimrah, and Beth Haran as fortified cities, and built pens for their flocks. And the Reubenites rebuilt Heshbon, Elealeh, and Kiriathaim, as well as Nebo and Baal-meon. These names were changed. And Sibmah. They gave names to the cities as they rebuilt. The descendants of Machir, son of Manasseh, went to Gilead, captured it, and drove out the Amorites who were there. So Moses gave Gilead to the Machirites, the descendants of Manasseh, and they settled there. Jair, descendant of Manasseh, captured their settlements and called them Havoth Jair. And Nobah captured Kenneth and its surrounding settlements and called it Nobah after himself. Then Moses set aside 3 cities east of the Jordan, to which anyone who had killed a person could flee if he had unintentionally killed his neighbor without malice aforethought. He could flee into one of these cities and save his life. The cities were these: Bezer in the desert of Plateau for the Reubenites, Ramoth in Gilead for the Gadites, and Golan in Bashan for the Manassites. Now there's a little commentary entitled Preparations for Conquest and Settlement. Lest the Israelites forget the lesson which God had to teach them through the horrible destruction of the Midianites, God warns them in advance that when they enter Canaan, they must drive out all of its inhabitants and completely destroy the idolatry rampant in the land. Almost needless to say, in light of their past experience, the Israelites will not wholly comply with God's directive and will therefore fall repeatedly into religious apostasy. The land which God has for centuries promised to give to his people is the land of Canaan, the borders of which God carefully delineates. From the Mediterranean Sea on the west, the land will stretch eastward across the plains and over the mountains to a line running north and south from the eastern shore of the Sea of Galilee, down the Jordan River to the Dead Sea. The northernmost border will be in the upper Galilee region, near a mountain called Hor, which should not be confused with Mount Hor upon which Aaron died. Ironically, that Mount Hor is near what is to be the southern border of Canaan, down near Kadesh Barnea in the northern Sinai Peninsula, south of the Dead Sea and east of Edom. So, Numbers 33. On the plains of Moab by the Jordan, across from Jericho, the Lord said to Moses, Speak to the Israelites and say to them, When you cross the Jordan into Canaan, drive out all the inhabitants of the land before you. Destroy all their carved images and their cast idols, and demolish all their high places. Take possession of the land and settle in it, for I have given you the land to possess. Distribute the land by lot, according to your clans. To a larger group, give a larger inheritance, and to a smaller group, a smaller one. Whatever falls to them by lot will be theirs. Distribute it according to your ancestral tribes. But if you do not drive out the inhabitants of the land, those you allow to remain will become barbs in your eyes and thorns in your sides. They will give you trouble in the land where you will live, and then I will do to you what I plan to do to them. Remember what the Amalekites did to you along the way when you came out of Egypt. When you were weary and worn out, they met you on your journey and cut off all who were lagging behind. They had no fear of God. When the Lord your God gives you rest from all the enemies around you in the land he is giving you to possess as an inheritance, you shall blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven. Do not forget. And that right there was a little portion of Deuteronomy 25:17 through 19 inserted in here. Now we pick back up with Numbers 34. The Lord said to Moses, "Command the Israelites and say to them, when you enter Canaan, the land that will be allotted to you as your inheritance, the land allotted to you as an inheritance will have these boundaries. Your southern side will include some of the desert of Zin along the border of Edom. On the east, your southern boundary will start from the end of the Salt Sea, cross south of Scorpion Pass, continue on to Zin, and go south of Kadesh Barnea. Then it will go to Hazar Adar and over the Asmon, where it will turn, join the Wadi of Egypt, and end at the sea. Your western boundary will be the coast of the Great Sea. This will be your boundary on the west. For your northern boundary, run a line from the Great Sea to Mount Hor, and from Mount Hor to Lebo Hamath. Then the boundary will go to Zedad, continue to Ziphron, and end at Hazar Enan. This will be your boundary on the north. For your eastern boundary, run a line from Hazar Enan to Shephem. The boundary will go down from Shephem to Riblah on the east side of Ain and continue along the slopes east of the Sea of Kinnereth. Then the boundary will go down along the Jordan and end at the Salt Sea. This will be your land with its boundaries on every side. Moses commanded the Israelites, "Assign this land by lot as an inheritance. The Lord has ordered that it be given to the 9.5 tribes, because the families of the tribes of Reuben, the tribe of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance. These 2.5 tribes have received their inheritance on the east side of the Jordan of Jericho, toward the sunrise." The Lord said to Moses, "These are the names of the men who are to assign the land for you as an inheritance: Eleazar the priest and Joshua son of Nun. And appoint one leader from each tribe to help assign the land. These are their names: Caleb, son of Jephunneh, from the tribe of Judah; Shemuel, son of Ammihud, from the tribe of Simon; Eladad, son of Kislon, from the tribe of Benjamin; Buki, son of Jogli, the leader, from the tribe of Dan; Haniel, son of Ephod, the leader, from the tribe of Manasseh, son of Joseph; Chemiel, son of Shiftan, the leader, from the tribe of Ephraim, son of Joseph; Elizaphan, son of Parnach, the leader, from the tribe of Zebulun; Paltiel, son of Azan, the leader, from the tribe of Issachar; Ahiad, son of Shelomi, the leader, from the tribe of Asher; Pedahel, son of Ammihud, the leader, from the tribe of Naphtali. These are the men the Lord commanded to assign the inheritance to the Israelites in the land of Canaan. On the plains of Moab by the Jordan, across from Jericho, the Lord said to Moses, "Command the Israelites to give the Levites towns to live in from the inheritance the Israelites will possess, and give them pasture lands around the towns. Then they will have towns to live in and pasture lands for their cattle, flocks, and all their other livestock. The pasture lands around the towns that you give the Levites will extend out 1,500 feet from the town wall. Outside the town, measure 3,000 feet on the east side, 3,000 on the south side, 3,000 on the west, and 3,000 on the north, with the town in the center. They will have this area as pasture land for the towns. 6 of the towns you give the Levites will be cities of refuge, to which a person who has killed someone may flee. In addition, give them 42 other towns, In all, you must give the Levites 48 towns, together with their pasture lands. The towns you give the Levites from the land the Israelites possess are to be given in proportion to the inheritance of each tribe. Take many towns from a tribe that has many, but few from one that has few. So that ends our reading for the Word of God for today. Thank you for joining me here on Mahood Life. I hope you join me tomorrow. Have a blessed day.